Hey guys, it's Kevin. So I've been using the Phone 2 for about a month now, and Nothing OS is now my favorite version of Android. In fact, I like it even more than stock Android, and it's because Nothing added all these little tweaks that you almost can't find anywhere else. Today, I'll share some of my favorite features and tips in Nothing OS 2.0. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Okay, starting with the lock screen, we have the typical shortcuts, widgets, and always on display. These bottom shortcuts are pretty standard on smartphones. There are buttons like device controls, torch, or none. It's nothing compared to Samsung's list, but at least you can change them unlike a certain OS. What's new to Nothing OS 2.0 are lock screen widgets. You have these clock ones like analog, digital, world, and other ones like quick settings and weather. Weather widgets provide you with information like conditions, highs and lows, or a specific location. Only Nothing widgets are supported, but they all have this clean dot matrix font. Quick settings is the most useful because it gives you easy access to all these system and app settings without opening notifications. So it can have Bluetooth, do not disturb, auto rotate, calculator, and a weather widget. The quick settings are interactive, so you can enable or disable them without unlocking the phone. Some of them also act as a shortcut, so tapping on calculator or weather will take you straight to the app. Widgets will appear on the always on display, but you do need to wake it up to interact with them. Nothing did a great job on the lock screen, and it's one of my favorites by far. Alright, the home screen has even more well-designed Nothing widgets. I currently have analog, world, circle, and quick look. And you can add other widgets from Nothing, Nothing X, and weather. Just like the lock screen, these are the only ones that have a dot matrix design. Third-party widgets look normal. The same quick settings can also be found here. So if there's one that you frequently use, you can add it to the home screen and save the extra step of swiping down. And let me talk about the amount of wallpapers that Nothing included. I'm a simple person, so I use a regular Emile Light wallpaper. But look at all these different categories: cityscapes, landscapes, seascapes, and geometric shapes. The color theme will also adapt to the wallpaper you set. Other customizations include wallpaper scrolling and home screen layout. You can also adjust the grid to have 4 or 5 columns and show or hide the app labels and search bar. But the coolest thing is the icon pack. The default one shows the color app icons you're used to, and Color has that Material You design with several apps that aren't optimized yet. But my favorite one is Nothing. It literally turns every app to monochrome, and it helps me minimize my screen on time since I'm less likely to be doom scrolling. Like I jump in one app, and when I close it, I pause for a bit because there's no color. I really like how Nothing fine-tuned the software to match their signature hardware design. Folders on Nothing OS 2 are really customizable. Like all smartphones, if you drag an app on top of another one, it'll automatically create a folder, and tapping on it will open it and display all the apps inside. When you long press on a folder, you have the option to rename, customize, or enlarge. Renaming is straightforward, and enlarging it will make the folder the size of 4 app icons. But customizing it is where things get interesting. There are different folder styles like default, grids, circle, and cover. Default shows the first 3 apps with a larger icon, and you can launch them with a simple tap. No need to open the folder. Grids is like a mini version of the app grid, and it gives you quick access to 8 apps. Circle is like grids, except the icons are in a circle, and only 6 app icons shown in the folder. I like grids and circle since they save space on the home screen and I can open an app without opening the folder. And the last folder style, cover, replaces the folder with a custom dot matrix icon. And there are a bunch you can choose from like the smiley face, game controller, cherries, music, this cat from Stray, and a boba drink. You do need to tap on the icon to open the folder, but it does add some character to the home screen. And almost forgot, if you have an app outside of a folder and long press it, you can make it 4 times the size. After you spend some time organizing your apps and folders, you'll end up with a nice and unique home screen. So Nothing added all these little tidbits throughout the OS. Tapping on the screen will wake it up, but it actually fades in from the spot that you last touched it. For example, if I tap somewhere in the bottom left, and if I tap in the top right, and the same thing goes for when you turn off the screen. Double tap an empty area and boom. This also works with the power button. The dot matrix font is on the lock screen and home screen, but it's also in some sliders. These appear when you adjust the volume and the brightness. In settings, the brightness still shows the dot matrix, but sound and vibration still show the default Android sliders. 2 things I found in quick settings is that you can see the amount of data usage if you swipe left on the Wi-Fi button. And if you tap the flashlight, the normal one will turn on, but if you long press it, the glyph torch will turn on instead. You may have noticed that some of the text is different, and that's because Nothing is a London-based company. We have things like torch instead of flashlight, aeroplane mode, customize, colors, and bin instead of trash. If you don't like it, then you can change it under settings, system, languages and input, languages. Nothing has AirPods support in the experimental features section. AirPods always work with Android devices, but there are icons and battery settings under device details. Unlike other Android phones, the Phone 2 can't pin apps to memory for some reason. the Galaxy Z Flip 4 with the same chip and less RAM was able to, so I don't see why the Phone 2 with 12 gigs of RAM can't. And the touch feedback was fixed in a software update last month. When I first used the phone, the haptics are very strong and loud, but now they're subtle and feel great. You still can't adjust them under settings though. Nothing surprised me with these tidbits, and I hope they add more in the next version of Nothing OS. And that's it for my top features and tips in Nothing OS 2.0. If you're interested in the hardware and glyph interface, I have a dedicated video all about those, so I'll link it in the cards and in the description box below. But what do you think about Nothing OS? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you'll be notified when I post new videos. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!